INFJs are often described as hopeless romantics with an unshakable belief in deep, meaningful connections. They crave a love story that transcends the surface, a bond built on emotional intimacy, shared values, and a profound understanding of one another. But despite their deep capacity for love and connection, many INFJs find themselves asking, why does finding the one feel so impossible? It's not because they're picky or unrealistic. The truth runs much deeper. It's rooted in their unique personality traits, emotional depth, and the way they view relationships as sacred connections. In today's video, we'll explore the truth about why finding the one feels so impossible for INFJs. From their sky-high standards to their struggle with emotional vulnerability, we'll uncover the reasons why love can feel like an elusive dream for this rare personality type. Let's begin. 1. Their standards are exceptionally high. INFJs don't settle for shallow relationships. They're not interested in surface-level connections or casual flings. They want depth, authenticity, and meaning. For INFJs, a relationship isn't just about companionship, it's about soul connection. They want a partner who shares their values and vision for life, is emotionally intelligent and self-aware, is willing to grow, learn, and evolve alongside them. This doesn't mean INFJs are unrealistic or demanding. It means they value quality over quantity. They'd rather stay single than invest in a relationship that doesn't align with their core values. However, this high standard can make the dating pool feel small. INFJs often feel like they're searching for a needle in a haystack, a rare person who not only meets their standards, but also understands and appreciates their depth. Key takeaway: INFJs have exceptionally high standards because they value depth, authenticity, and emotional intimacy over surface-level connections. 2. They crave an almost telepathic connection. INFJs dream of a connection where words become unnecessary, a bond where they just know what their partner is thinking, feeling, and experiencing. This desire for a deep emotional and spiritual connection isn't a fantasy. It's how INFJs experience relationships at their core. When they fall in love, it's not just with someone's appearance or personality, it's with their soul. But this level of connection isn't easy to find. Most people aren't used to communicating on such a deep level, and they might feel intimidated or overwhelmed by the INFJ's emotional intensity. INFJs often find themselves in relationships where they're the ones offering depth, but not receiving it in return. Over time, this can leave them feeling unseen, unfulfilled, and even lonelier than when they were single. Key takeaway: INFJs crave a deep, almost telepathic connection with their partner, something that's rare and hard to find in most relationships. 3. They're naturally guarded and slow to open up. INFJs are deeply private individuals. They might seem open and warm on the surface, but beneath their kind exterior lies an inner world that they guard fiercely. This isn't because they don't want to connect. It's because they fear being misunderstood, hurt, or taken for granted. INFJs often test the waters before fully opening up to someone. They might share small pieces of their inner world and watch how their partner responds. Do they listen without judgment? Do they value emotional vulnerability? Can they handle the INFJ's depth? If the answers to these questions are unclear or unsatisfactory, the INFJ might shut down and retreat emotionally. This pattern can make building trust and vulnerability a slow process. For potential partners who are used to faster-paced relationships, this emotional cautiousness can feel confusing or frustrating. Key takeaway: INFJs are naturally guarded and slow to open up, making it challenging to build deep trust and emotional intimacy in relationships. 4. They struggle with feeling misunderstood. INFJs often feel like they exist in a world where no one truly understands them. Their thoughts, emotions, and perspectives are so layered and complex that even when they try to explain themselves, they feel like their words fall short. In relationships, this feeling of being misunderstood becomes even more pronounced. They crave a partner who doesn't just hear them, but sees them, someone who understands their inner world without needing constant explanations. But finding someone who can meet them on that level is incredibly rare. INFJs might go through relationship after relationship, feeling like they're always holding back parts of themselves because their partner just doesn't get it. This persistent feeling of being misunderstood can cause INFJs to withdraw, shut down, or even end relationships that feel emotionally hollow. Key takeaway: INFJs often feel deeply misunderstood in relationships, which makes finding someone who truly gets them feel nearly impossible. 5. They're attracted to potential, not just reality. INFJs have an incredible ability to see potential in people. They notice qualities, talents, and inner strengths that even the person themselves might not recognize. In relationships, this can be both a blessing and a curse. INFJs might fall in love with who someone could become, not necessarily who they are in the present moment. They might stay in relationships longer than they should, hoping their partner will grow, change, or reach their potential. But over time, this can lead to disappointment, frustration, and heartbreak. INFJs might realize they were in love with an idea of someone rather than the reality of who they are. This pattern makes INFJs hesitant to trust their own judgment and love, leading to cycles of self-doubt and hesitation in future relationships. Key takeaway: INFJs are often drawn to potential rather than reality, which can lead to disappointment and a sense of disillusionment in relationships. 6. They fear settling for less than they deserve. INFJs have an internal compass that constantly pushes them toward purpose and meaning. In relationships, this manifests as a fear of settling for something less than extraordinary. They know they're capable of deep, soulful love, and they refuse to settle for a relationship that feels lukewarm, transactional, or emotionally empty. This fear isn't irrational. It's rooted in their deep awareness of their own worth and what they bring to a relationship. But it can also leave INFJs feeling like they're waiting for that one person who feels like home, who matches their depth, and who sees them as they are. This waiting can feel endless, and it often leads INFJs to question whether their standards are too high. Key takeaway: INFJs fear settling for less than they deserve, leading them to stay single rather than compromise on emotional intimacy and depth. Why INFJs shouldn't lose hope. Finding love as an INFJ isn't easy, but it's not impossible. The key lies in understanding that their depth, emotional intelligence, and high standards aren't flaws. They're gifts. The right person, the one who values their complexity, respects their boundaries, and meets them on an emotional level, does exist. It might take time, patience, and even heartbreak to find them, but when it happens, it will feel right. INFJs need to trust their intuition, honor their boundaries, and refuse to settle for connections that don't feed their soul. INFJs, your approach to love is rare, beautiful, and deeply meaningful. While the journey to finding the one might feel long and challenging, remember this: you are not too much, your standards are not too high, and your desire for depth is not unreasonable. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insights into the INFJ personality. Share your thoughts below. Do you relate to these struggles in your own relationships? Remember, INFJ, the love you're searching for exists, and it's worth waiting for. Thank you for watching, and keep believing in the power of your rare, beautiful heart.